Okay, so today I'm going to show y'all how to paint a beach scene. So first I have a canvas. I have a large paintbrush. This is a 1-inch paintbrush, flat paintbrush. A palette knife, which is what these are called. If you don't have one of these, you can use a plastic butter knife. That's fine. And I have some paint. I love this kind of acrylic paint. It's Winsor and Newton Galleria acrylic paint. But if you don't have this, or really if you're not looking to take up painting, because this is a little bit more pricey, you can use your regular old acrylic craft paint. They have a bunch of different kinds. This is the kind that I have right now because it was probably on sale. So first I'm going to show you how to mix some colors. So we're going to need a watercolor, a sky color, and a beach color. So I'm going to take my blue. This is Winsor blue. I'm going to lay out a little bit of paint for each because I don't want to use too much. I can always add more, but I can't take away. A little bit of green. And I'm low on white, so that's why I have my craft white out. Alright, so to make our beach or our watercolor, I'm going to take a little bit of blue because I want it to mostly be bluish, but I'm going to take a little green, put some green in there, and I'm going to take my white and I'm just going to kind of bounce it and scrape, bounce and scrape until I get the color that I really want. So I'm thinking I know we all really want to go to the beach right now, so I'm thinking Caribbean watercolor. So this blue is really nice, but I think I want it to be a little greener, so I'm going to take a little bit of green, a little bit more green, and just bounce that green in there. If I wanted, I could have put some more, some yellow in there, but this is the green that I want it to be, a little bluish green here. So to clean off my palette knife, I just take a paper towel and wipe it down. If I need more of that, I can always make some more. To make my sand color, I have this color called yellow ochre. And put that on there, but I want a nice warm sand. And remember how we were talking about complements? So whenever you're preparing a painting, you want to think about your color scheme. So we're doing blues and greens, which are next to each other, a little bit of yellow, and I'm going to take a little red. So to make my sand color, I'm taking yellow ochre and crimson. And it is mostly going to be this yellow ochre color. I'm going to take the tiniest little bit of red and bounce that in there to make my sand. But I don't want my sand to look really dirty. I want a white sand beach. So I'm going to take some more of my white and bounce that white in there. And hopefully that'll be enough because we are running low on white. Maybe a little more white. The rest of that white. It's okay. think that sand looks pretty nice. Maybe a little warmer, so I'm going to take a little bit more red. All right, that looks good, but I do want it to get a little bit more white. So I'm just going to squirt a little more white in there. There we go. That looks good. Alright, so that's our sand color. I'm going to wipe it off again and make our sky color. So I'm going to take my blue again, put a little bit more in my blue spot. There. And I'm going to take some of the blue, put it over here. Try and scrape off the rest of this white here, but I want a light blue sky. So I'm going to add some more white to that. And put white in a different spot. Because I'll know I'll need some more white eventually. And so I don't really mess up that white, because I know I'm going to use it later. I'm going to wipe off my palette knife. And mix it in. Maybe a little more white. Y'all, you can never have enough white paint. I always end up using too much pigment, which meaning like too much of my color, and then I want to make it like a pastel, and I end up using literally like all my white paint. But that's okay. There's always more. That looks pretty good. Bright blue sky. All right. So now that we have that out of the way, we have all of our colors mixed, and then a little bit of extra on the side for adding depth. I'm going to put a little bit more white on my palette, because I know I'm going to make like clouds and stuff. I'm going to block out, I'm going to push this to the side. Okay, so you can see my canvas a little. I'm going to block out color. So I'm going to start out with blocking out my sky. And when I mean like blocking out, I mean just like painting big areas with paint. I want my horizon line to be kind of low. I want it mostly to be sky, actually. And while this is still kind of wet, I'm going to add in a little more of that blue that we used to make that sky. to make sure I don't have too much on my brush. And I'm going to wisp in to create some depth in my sky. And we're going to do this a little bit more with our palette brush. But if you pay attention, sometimes the sky looks a little bit darker as it goes up, and a little bit lighter as it moves down to the horizon line. And this is just an artist, like a technique that artists has used to create a little depth. And so there, I'm gonna wash off my brush a little bit with some water. So I have a cup of water right here. I'm not gonna get rid of all of my paint just yet because I'm just gonna hit it with a little bit of white at the bottom to really try and emphasize that gradient. The gradient is just when basically two colors gradually blend together. Get a little bit more white. And really emphasize that horizon line. Alright, so now that we have blocked out our sky, we can totally wash off our brush and go in with our blue for the water. So the same principle, kinda. Things really fade out at the horizon line. Now I'm gonna leave I'm not really blocking in the sides as much because that's where we want to put our sand. And this is going to just be a calm beach day. So now that we have everything blocked out, we're going to go in and add detail. So remember how I was talking about adding detail, and the more detail you put in, the more realistic your painting will be. I like to paint with my palette brush. And so this is a really fun way to add in like waves. And you can do this, like I said, with a butter knife. And use the back end of a butter knife. Just kind of float along there. Maybe we add some green to it.